Return of the Pander Bear. Return of the Pander Bear. My wife said, what the hell is a Pander Bear? I will explain. Welcome to the Soapbox. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas, and indeed, welcome. This is the return of the Pander Bear. Now, what do I mean by Pander Bear? It sounds a lot like Panda Bear, but this is a different type of bear. Back in, if you're not in America, it's just like explaining, we're in election season. Now, election seasons in America go for formally about 2 years, but informally, if we're being honest, about 4 years. And if we're really being honest, some of these candidates have been running for like 30, 40 years. So, return of the Pander Bear. So, back in 2016, I believe, we have people doing what they can to ingratiate themselves to various communities around the world to try to get their votes. Return of the Pander Bear. Yes, pander. These candidates, usually men and women, turning into these animals that do everything they can to pander to whoever is in the room with them. Sometimes it's shameless. Like one Hillary Clinton telling an audience of black folks that she keeps hot sauce.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
I want to call your attention to the extremely attractive black woman here and the look on her face like, she didn't like that answer. And Charlemagne the God, and let this play out. So you can see what I mean. Pander Bear.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Pander Bear. It was clear and apparent. If you believe that Hillary Clinton walks around with her hot sauce in her back pocket, I have a bridge to sell you on Mars that gets awesome sunlight and has a ton of water. Hillary Clinton is not alone in this pandering process, however. And again, for pandering to work, it has to be authentic. And when it's not authentic, it looks funny, which is why it can be joked about, because Hillary Clinton, nobody believes, carries hot sauce in her back pocket. Now, there are times where you can believe in a particular issue, but you're going overboard and trying to get across that for this. For example, like one Miss Christian Gillibrand, who's getting across how much she loves gay rights. This video is all sorts of funny. And just so we're clear, it's not funny because of gay rights thing. And I believe her when she's for gay rights. It's in a gay bar, looking like a mom trying to pick up a gay man half her age, screaming gay rights while drinking some kind of alcoholic beverage. This is all sorts of funny. And again, it's not the gay rights thing that makes it funny. It's the pandering that makes it funny. Do I believe Christian Gillibrand is for gay rights? Yes, I do. Do I believe that she would be at a gay bar? Not typically, which means that she's there for the very specific reason of doing this sort of pandering. Pander Bear. Here's some more pandering. I do have a point to this. And again, I think this video is just all sorts of funny. Gay right! Oh, Pander Bear. Pander. And we have this. Look at this. I tend to hate people or companies that force people to do this. Now, I understand the argument here. It's like, well, dude, if you're against people carrying these signs, then you're also against them having that job. It's that the tax job has people out there in a Statue of Liberty sign or costume holding a sign. No, I don't necessarily like the fact that a company has a person out there doing something like that. Nevertheless, it's a job. Now, here is pandering of a different sort. Look at this, Cory Booker 2020, and there's one more. Blaney. They've hired somebody to carry signs for their campaign. This is a pandering of a different sort. I'm going to hire somebody and pay them probably a horrible wage to do it. Now, my wife kind of made the point, well, how do you know he hired somebody to do that? How do you know that people just don't feel for Booker and Delaney like that. I say, you're right. It could be a cousin or uncle or niece or some family member that's out there doing it. But there is nothing in me that believes one iota somebody is so motivated by a Booker Delaney campaign in Iowa that they're going to be out there doing that sign just for shits and giggles. But I want you to see something. There's a rally and a protest going on back there. What's that protest? What's that protest? That protest is a protest in Iowa for McDonald's to pay their workers $15 an hour minimum wage. Guess who's ahead of that protest? While these guys have signs screaming about Cory Booker for president and Delaney for president, one Mr. Bernie Sanders is literally ahead of the march that these guys have hired people to essentially do campaign ads for. Sanders is pandering also. But this is something that he actually believes in. The difference here is he's been trying to get the public and media to pay attention to this. And now that he's a presidential candidate, he has the opportunity to do this. And so he's taking it. One Mr. Bernie Sanders, head of a $15 an hour march. Again, it's pandering, but it's pandering for something that somebody believes in, that actually something digs in him. He is in Iowa doing this to draw attention to this issue, but he's in Iowa also because there's a presidential election and Iowa's going to be the first place, and he wants their votes. He wants to win it. He's pandering to the Iowa audience, but he's pandering in a way that he actually believes it. Again, I understand that Christian Gillibrand probably does believe in gay rights, and nothing in me believes that Hillary Clinton carries hot sauce in her pocket. But there's an authenticity to this and a reality to this that actually works in concert to what is really going on in that particular issue in real, physical, tangible ways. Bernie Sanders opens a broadside on companies who are paying their workers low wages. This is everything from Walmart, him literally going to Walmart and yelling at their people, pay your people a decent wage. Walmart comes out and asks the Congress to raise it to $15 an hour minimum wage. They don't necessarily want to do it themselves. And in their mind, if they raise it to $15 an hour minimum wage, they're at a disadvantage to companies that pay their workers less, in which case Walmart doesn't want to do that, in which case they try to push their places to do it for everybody. Well, if everybody does it, then it doesn't necessarily hurt us in somewhat of a imbalanced way. But my point is, he's out here doing this. He's been yelling at Amazon. Amazon increases their wages. He's yelling at McDonald's in this case. He was yelling at all these guys. What does this look like when you're actually in a position of power to actually affect those changes? He is not in a position, yes, he's a senator, but no, he's not in a position to be able to affect this in a legislative way. So he's using people power to do it. Delaney and Cory Booker is out there with signs. Sanders is out there literally leading the rally. Let's hear his speech on this one.
I want you to understand that I want to congratulate all people who are involved in the fight for 15. And I want you to understand the enormous progress that you have made in the last few years. 5 years ago, when we talked about $15 an hour, and the union people said it was an impossible dream. But because of the determination of workers at McDonald's and all over this country and the trade union movement, 7 states in this country have passed a $15 an hour minimum wage law.
I understand that all of these don't start immediately, but Sanders has a point. When he started his campaign, this notion of a $15 an hour minimum wage was seen to be farcical. There's no way he's going to get 15. Whoa, that's too much. The federal minimum wage is only like $7 and some change. That's an impossible task. And as a senator, again, no power at all in the various states to affect his particular political will, and yet these states are changing legislative policy in order to conform to something that was considered to be an impossible task. His main point, and the point of this entirety of his campaign, is that the public itself, you have dollars or you have pitchforks. It is true that you have all of these things kind of aligned against you. All of that is absolutely true, but it is a separate thing when the public starts to assert itself. That's his point. These other candidates are pandering. And Sanders himself is pandering, but there's an authenticity to this particular pandering in Iowa. And there is a larger effort on his part to use the presidential campaign to draw attention to actual real things. With this notion of, let's not do politics for politics' sake. Let's do politics for the notion of actually getting real change in this country. The other guys are pandering. Sanders is also pandering. But there's a difference in those things. One is real. The other one is... Again, I don't doubt that Gillibrand's gay rights thing. And I don't, I would imagine that Cory Booker and Delaney do want to get people to see them in Iowa. But I would put my stock on the guy that's essentially leading the rally. That's the guy who I want leading the charge. I'll end this here. I didn't want this one to be long. I just thought the Gillibrand thing was so funny. And it puts you in the mind of politicians who are doing their best to get the public to view them in a particular way. Again, I don't doubt that Gillibrand is into gay rights. The thing is, would she be in that bar? Does Hillary Clinton like hot sauce? Maybe, but it just seems pretty conspicuous that she's using it in those terms. You can find this in all sorts of instances of this, so it's not just these guys. But give me the guy that's leading the rally. Give me the guy that's leading the rally. I'll end this here. I have multiple videos for today, so I'll see you guys in about 15-20 minutes. There's a funny one of Simone Sanders doing her best to defend Joe Biden. And, it's all sorts of great. I'll see you guys in about 10-15 minutes. If you guys enjoy this content, please consider supporting this content, especially with the ad apocalypse that's taking place where these guys are demonetizing channels. I have no idea if I'm going to be next. So if you enjoy and you find yourself coming back here often, please consider supporting. Thanks all. I'll see you momentarily. Bye-bye.